What's up, Ultra Buddies? We have our first review recap for BP07, the Great Kaiju Invasion, something like that. We're starting with Carmeara. We just went over as Carmeara, uh, and it's pretty sweet, pretty insane. Why don't you read it for us?
Yeah, so this is our first, I guess one of our newest triple Rs. So this one, as a triple, when this character enters play, you may pick two of your opponent's kaiju, or you may pick two of your opponent's characters and swap them, swap the places of those characters. So it's like Tiga in reverse.
Yeah, Tiga in reverse. This character's the pronunciation has got us all tripped up. We can't even read it anymore. Okay, Tiga in reverse is pretty crazy, right? I don't know. I feel like I've thought about this card a little bit, and I'm a little hesitant just because it's a 17,000. I feel like 17,000 is old news these days.
I think that 17,000 hurts. But it's one of those cards that it depends on how good you are at understanding the field and setting it up. I think it has like a really high skill cap in that. 17k would lose, but there's also cases where if your opponent has like a double 12k or double 13k and you swap that into this lane, well, okay, you've locked in one lane, which is always really nice. And if you're really savvy, you could do something and lock in two lanes with a flip. So there's a lot of value you can get out of this, but it does require knowing what's on the board. You have to kind of see how things are going to play out. It's not as straightforward as Tiga. Tiga, you could put him in the front and take lead.
Yeah.
This one, usually the opponent's newest lane is their weakest lane. So it's less guaranteed that you'd be able to swap into the lead lane, something for taking lead.
It's almost like you might guarantee you lose lead.
Yes,
because you might take their new one and then swap it into something that you know is going to win, or swap it into this one to kind of like force an imbalance or something. I don't know.
But I think this card does open up a lot of like almost mind games with your opponent really having to think about what they play. Because if you're a really good Carmeara player and you can see that, oh, if I swap these two, I just win the game.
Right.
You can play this card and you just win.
Right. It might not even be like, oh, I swap these two and I win the game. It might be like, oh, I swap these two and I win the game in 2 turns.
Exactly.
Because that's going to be the tricky part with this one. I do think that it makes it really, like, in terms of survivability, Carmeara is really good in the same way that Tiga is really good, where you can't really kill Tiga on turn 3 because as much as they want to move Tiga to their lead lane, they can move it wherever they want.
Exactly.
And this is kind of the same, because if you have one lane that's not beating 17k, they can just move it and then they're going to be safe. Now, I will say that not really being able to fight lead as hard as I would have liked does make me feel weird, considering the next card that we're going to reveal today, which is the scene, which is an insane scene. A round 3 scene, the Captivating Flower of Splendor. When the scene enter play, you can put one level 6 or 7 Carmeara card from your discard into play on top of your Carmeara that is able to level up. So if you have a 5/6, you get another triple out of nowhere just from the discard. So this card's pretty crazy. I think it's going to happen before level ups too. So you could, if you had a level 5, you could grab a 6 from the discard and then on this level up phase, play the 7. So you can go from 5 to 7. 5 to 7. And this could, it's really good. But the fact that it's a round 3 scene and the level 3 doesn't seem to really incentivize, getting lead without some other, special combos or something. It makes me feel a little weird, but I might have underappreciated, like the level 3's effects of like if you could swap, you could also play like a strong lane 3 and then swap lane 2 into lane 3.
Yeah. I think this is going to be an interesting deck, more so who you pair this combo with, and it's a little more open-ended compared to, I think, the Mephiles decks we'll get to in a bit.
Right.
We haven't seen Trigger Dark's effects. Maybe that's going to be like the go-to pair. It could be something where you want to do maybe Belial. Belial can become an 18k in the lead lane with the BP ups. It could be a Zeton focus. You play Zetons, you swap them around, and you're able to play those BP grade up Zetons and have them hit their mark more often.
You can force them to line up. That's pretty sick.
So I think it'll be really interesting to explore here. And then if you're able to get a pairing that gets you, reliable lead turns 3, turn 4, then you, like you said, you leave that level 5 draw. You just milled for whatever reason all your level 6s and you're just stuck. Well, this scene will help with that consistency quite a bit.
Yeah. So I guess speaking of pairings, you talked about Zeton. I think there's some other funny pairings that we could do with Carmeara. One that I saw someone, not my idea, I can't take credit for this. I saw using Carmeara with Gaia. So you can like pull their triple into the Gaia's lane and then bounce the top off of it. Or like more likely, you have a lane that's like maybe weaker and you can bounce the top of whatever the Gaia's lane is and then move it for a double win.
Yeah.
So there's some like interesting ideas there too, maybe. Some things you could do something similar maybe with like Blazar, get like a BP down across the lane and then move it somewhere else. So it'll be interesting. Definitely pretty flexible. And then our last card for Carmeara is, where did it go? It's just a scene searcher.
Yeah,
we don't really need to talk about it too much.
I mean, it's not. It pairs well with the scene.
Yeah.
Getting extra cards in mill, and then whether it's level 7, you'll have something for activating it.
Absolutely. So I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I'm really excited because I think like this card looks really nice. So I'm excited to see it in person.
It's definitely it's a deck that whether or not it ends up being very strong, it's going to be a fun deck to play around with and figure out what, like you said, a Gaia combo. I think you could do some funny Z shenanigans and get that scene out mid-turn.
Use a scene ladder.
Yeah.
To grab to get this out mid-turn and then go for a mid-turn swap. I like that idea that you had. All right. Well, Carmeara, our 4th triple rare. So we're halfway done with triple rares already, which is pretty crazy. Thanks for tuning into Carmeara show. So next we have some Mephiles cards, but I think it would be very helpful if we review the current Mephiles.
Yep.
Whoa. Which is right here. Is one of the triple rares. I know you can't really read it. So just as a reminder for everyone, what it does is a double as an activate. You can reveal a card, an invasion or hazard kaiju from your hand, and then discard an invasion or kaiju on your field, and then play the one from your hand in its place. And then you draw a card. So you basically don't lose any cards in hand, and you just get to swap your board around with invasion or hazard kaiju as you please. That's going to give us context for the next few cards.
Real quick before you jump,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy you brought us to this page because I was now reminded of the level 5 kaiju effects that have come out this set, where you may give this character a plus 2,000 for the turn. If the opponent's the extra character, you may give this character another plus 2,000. So we'll come back to this with some of the cards.
Yeah, those could be relevant,
but they will
wink, wink.
Yes, they'll be extremely relevant for what's to come.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the other big reveal for this week, which came out. That's the day of recording. Mephiles' game. I go ahead. You read this.
Oh,
one.
Okay. Yeah. So, It's an activate where once per turn, if you have Alien Mephiles on the field, you may reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and you may put one Kaiju card with type Hazard or Invasion from among them into play on top of one of your Kaijus that's able to level up with them. Send the rest of the discard area at the end of the turn. Discard that card that was put into play with that effect. So one way to think about it is it's scarred for Hazard and Invasion Kaijus.
Yeah.
So this is an effect that we haven't really seen before, and the ability to have a Kaiju version of Scarred, or at least for Hazard and Invasion type, opens a lot of new combos. Well, just like those the Red King and King Joe were looking previously. So what would have been a kind of strong but not too crazy level 5 single now can become a very strong level 6 double, and remember, it will keep the BP boost. So if it's getting a plus 2000 and then you make it a like 15k double, now it's 17k, or like
so for example, King Joe here gets plus 2000 when you play it, and then if he's a battle opponent, it's an ultra hero, it gets another plus 2000, so it's already getting plus 4000, and then you can use this Mephiles game to make it into a level 6, and it's going to retain the plus 4000, which is like that's going to be a big number.
Just remember, with the Mephiles Triple R, you could take an earlier lane, swap into it a King Joe, and now it's like a 12k level 5 King Joe. And then if you hit it the level 6 that we'll talk about in a bit with the scene, now you have what's potentially a 21k lane.
Yeah,
that's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be absolutely crazy. So keep this in mind as we go through the rest of the cards. I think that it's immediately impactful for our next Mephiles card, which is level 5 Mephiles. You can play the level 5 Mephiles, use the game to get to the level 6 Mephiles, then use that Mephiles' effect to change something out. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, this card by itself is kind of crazy, I think, and just the fact that there's more draws. I kind of expected the Mephiles to have a draw level 5, but the fact that like it combos so well with the level 6, in like setting up almost a chain, right? Where like if you get the first one out, then you can play whatever, and then or you can play this and then draw and then swap it into a strong Kaiju, or you can play some other Kaiju that helps you, I don't know, do something else, and then swap it into the draw and then draw more. Or you could like draw into a draw.
Yes, exactly.
And then play another level 6 Mephiles the next turn. So then like going into turn maybe 3, you've got 2 level 6 Mephiles. You can go like blah, 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 and do all these crazy combos. I don't know. This deck's gonna be crazy. And then you can do this one and then use game to go to level 6. One thing that like just occurred to me was that you can like I could play this, use game to go to level 6, use a level 6 effect, and then use another level 6 to flip the one that I've just done. Like almost like what Blazar had, where like if you use Scarred and then you use Scarred, but then you can use the top card for the effect of like the BP01 or the Ultra Deck one, right? In the same way, you can like use this thing to get an effect just for fun, and then just send it away with the other. I don't know. This has actually going to have so many crazy things going on. Okay, speaking of scenes and how the scene is insane, the level 7 Mephiles now makes a lot more sense that we saw earlier, which is maybe you didn't see earlier, but we saw earlier, which lets you put a scene card from your discard area into your hand, and if you do you discard from your hand. But now you can play this and then get the scene and then swap into something else, or you get to have the level 6s use the game to get to level 7, so you kind of covered for the weakness of having a level 6 on the field.
You're right on this. Since these are all activates, you can leave it you can park it as a double, do all the activate stuff you need, and then you just use this to make sure it's not too weak. You try and hit, even if it's a vanilla level 7, 16, 17k, it's gonna be insane. Yeah,
so I don't know. My brain is kind of exploding. Like I think when we first saw Mephiles, it was kind of like, if Chris can make this work, I'm gonna play it for Worlds, right? And
I,
now
I
it's even more like, yeah, I think this is probably the deck. Like,
I mean, we're also getting handed the cards that, like, without some of these cards we're going to get into, I think this was already going to be a really crazy deck. And now let's see some of the next
cards that let's move on to some
top.
of the other supports that we have here. King Joe. Go ahead for King Joe, because I think you're thinking about Mephiles.
So I think this is going to be the more we look at the other kaiju cards, the crazier this card gets. So this one is a King Joe is as a single or double, a continuous effect. When you have a double kaiju type invasion that's not King Joe, this character gets a BP grade increase. And additionally, while you have 2 or more double kaiju type hazard, this character gets an additional BP grade increase by 1. So with just the first effect alone, it's almost like kaiju Ginga or invasion Ginga.
Yeah.
Where if it's a double, it's 17k. If it's a single, this is an even better 13k and a 9k casing. So it's almost better than Ginga in many ways. And whereas Ginga gets to 18k with 4 doubles, if you have 2 hazard doubles, then this becomes a 17k single, which pairs very nicely with Mephiles. Or if we go back to that level 5 King Joe we were talking about, if you use Mephiles' game and level this up, now you're dealing with a could be 21,000 or even a 19,000 in the mirror.
Yeah.
And that's a really crazy number to think about. You're hitting that's basically stronger than max. Max is a 19k double.
Yeah.
Only in one lane, whereas with the right setup and planning, you can make a 19k double in almost any lane with a bit of luck.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little spooky, a little crazy. I'd like to see more like King Joe, because like, at least for me, just this 2, that's not enough for me to like really get behind King Joe. Like, I mean, it's good, right? But like, I would like to see like a little bit more consistency, maybe. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm thinking of it almost like you have a lot of decks that play 8 cards of Ginga, where you have 4 level 6s, 4 level 2s, 4 level 3s. You can kind of make if you want to think of it that way, you can have a King Joe package, which is 4/4, and you'll hit it as often as
that's very true.
Other decks hit it.
I guess I was thinking more so about like the level 5 than using game to make it level 6. That feels like it's not maybe not something that you'll really want to go for that often. But yeah, you're right. Like having a 5/6 that just makes a 17k really strong. I mean, we talked about this deck is probably going to end up being like the deck that just spits out 17ks everywhere.
Yeah.
Because, and we didn't even touch on this, like this card is insane for 5 king. Like Mephiles was already good because it could just put 5 king whatever lane you wanted. But you were like, oh, but maybe you won't give enough discard. Like, here you go. You got enough discard effects to get Mephiles. You can have 17ks from 5 king. You can have 70ks from King Joe. The Alien Guts Bog Topper is a 17. There's just a lot of 17s to go around. Did we get another King Joe? We did. This one is like Raycubus. So if the opponent is armed type, it gets BP grade increase. If it's power type, it goes to extra. I mean, this is just going to be solid because if you're an opponent's arm type, you can kind of do the same thing with the level 5. Oh, we'll play the level 5. Try to Mephiles game into this one, and then it's a double 14, goes up to 16, gets plus 4,000. Boom, that's a 20.
I mean, even without the arm type, if it's as long as it's not a power type, that's still an 18k double.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I think we'll probably have to do like a Mephiles tier list by the time all the cards are out, because like you're saying, you could go very light on King Joe, just like a little bit of just the level 6s, just so you have some more 5 king fodder, or you could actually go all in on like 2 or 3 kaijus and hit more consistency off the scene. So I feel like there's already going to be a couple different ways you could play the Mephiles deck, and
Yeah.
since it is a kaiju deck, there's a lot to work with. And
we didn't even talk about the funniest interaction maybe with the seed, which is that you can use this to level up Zepandons on jugglers.
Yep.
Because the level 3s are hazard types, even though the rest of it doesn't work with it. So I feel like it's kind of silly to do that in a practice, but you could do it, which is funny.
I mean, it could be a nice way just to you play on a lighter on like the level 5s and 6s to get some extra draw scene search for your 5 king setup, and then and every Zapandon, it's just another target. And gets you like jugular dies, which was going to be another way you can break 17Ks into 18Ks. That's going to be terrifying.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Red King. Basically the same card, but as weak against speed. But it's kind of setting up for this like Red King and King Joe being similar. Maybe it'd be crazy if Red King gets something like this, but just like reversed.
We'll see. I don't know if not every kaiju will get a double R. Red King could just get a single R effect as an alternative to this, and that alone will, again, you could have Mephiles, Red King, Mephiles, King Joe. Like, if you want to really lean into the King Joe deck, then you need to have hazard types, that way you can get even more power off of those. So it's going to be a lot of options here.
Definitely. Okay, and then we'll keep going. The rest of the cards are Zeton cards. So go away if you don't like Zeton. The scene, I think, is the most interesting. So that's where we're leading off with it. It's a round 2 scene. When this scene enters play, you can choose one of your Zeton, and if you do, you just tie that for the turn. Pretty solid. 1 trillion degrees of despair. I don't know. This card's not flashy, but it's really good.
Yeah, I think being able to stall with the Zeton deck, it's going to be crazy. Then Zeton has really strong singles if you want to think of it, with like anti-PP grade ups or anti-promo types. So if you're playing a mono deck and Zeton's able to take lead and play one of these for you against you, it's just going to get more time to draw into promo Zetons, and you might not be able to keep up with that burst.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we'll just go through the rest kind of speed. It's a 14K vanilla level 7. Add the scene card. It's the same thing, level 7 as the Mephiles we saw. 5,009 is like a generic level 5 type thing. Generic level 6 type thing. And then a Hellbearus at the end. So we didn't, I don't know if we got really into it, but like, it feels like I'm worried about Zeton because it feels like they added the new triple rare. They've got new level 7s that like act as though like this was a character designed to be played 5, 6, 7. It wasn't. It was a character designed to be played 5, 6. It's like randomly having an ultra hero that like the level 6s or level 2s have 14,000 power as doubles. It's crazy. Like you just, I played the double. Oh, it was a 14. And then, you happened to, play something better than my 14, or I didn't align it up right. Well, I can just go to triple now. No worries.
I think it's going to be a really powerful deck. And it's going to have a strong, I think, impact on the... I mean, it already has a strong impact on the meta, and it's only going to be stronger. I think we're not going to see a lot of mono decks, I think, going into this next set. It would be... it'd be difficult, but it depends on the meta. If everyone is now on the Mephiles bandwagon, the mono deck might be what you need to play to build a bunch of 18Ks and triples to beat those 17Ks.
Yeah. It could be like a Zeton Mephiles mono deck triangle, which is pretty interesting. We'll just have to see. I think that's pretty much it for us this week. Try to get through it fast. I think there was like the major big hitters. This new scene, insane, and of course Carmeara. The spelling on this is never gonna. This is crazy. It's not even that like it's spelled in a weird way, like translating like the Japanese to English Carmeara to Carmeara. I guess that's how, but it's like it makes me want to say like Carmeara. It just sounds kind of weird.
I mean, something to look into later. The origin of the word. It might be actually that the Japanese was based off of like another language word. That always happens, right? So
it's true.
Can't always blame the localization team.
It's like a. Did you ever do that thing where it was like you take like song lyrics and you translate it into one language and then translate it back and then like it's totally messed up? Maybe it's one of those things. Anyway, that's it for us. We'll see you for the next reveals and for gameplay and deck profiles and all that good stuff.
Bye. Bye.